All right. What is going on? I Coach Nutrition family, back for another podcast here today. So today's topic is how to stay hydrated. For those of you that are watching this or listening to this that are in Texas, where I'm at, we're coming into the summer, some of the hottest months of the year here. And hydration and staying hydrated is one of the most important aspects of nutrition and of living a healthy lifestyle and just making sure that you feel your best, you look your best, you perform your best. And so what I want to dive into today is essentially how to stay hydrated. Everything from, why is it important, right? But then also, essentially kind of what that recommendation is, what that goal should be. And then just some lifestyle hacks there, if you will, in terms of actually being able to, not just have this information, but be able to apply it, right? And actually be able to be consistent with staying hydrated. So maintaining optimal hydration is super important. And it's probably one of the most undervalued aspects, or one of the most undervalued habits that are out there. And I would argue it's because it's free, right? Drinking water, staying hydrated, at least, here in the US, is something that it's not prioritized. It's, a lot of people take it for granted, right? And a lot of people don't understand how good they can actually feel until they actually start feeling that way. And so if you're constantly, if you're chronically dehydrated, then you don't really know any different. But the reality of it is that in order to have your brain as well as your body function properly, you need to stay hydrated. And so yes, your body can adapt to being dehydrated, but you're not going to be able to actually live an optimal life and an optimal, optimize your lifestyle there. So inadequate hydration issues, typically what happens here is you're going to see a decrease in the following. You're going to see a decrease in your performance. You're going to see a decrease in your stamina and in your endurance. You're going to see a decrease in your cognition. You're going to see a decrease in your recovery. You're going to see a decrease in your metabolism. So every single one of you that are in this group for weight loss and fat loss and learning how to, essentially not just lose weight, but actually be able to, sustain weight loss and learn how to live a healthy lifestyle long-term. Well, hydration is one of the most important aspects of that, because again, if you're dehydrated, that decreases your metabolism, right? And then the list of essentially the things that are going to increase when you're dehydrated are going to be, you're going to have an increased perceived fatigue, right? Both in workouts as well as just in life in general on a day-to-day basis, right? We always talk about these midday crashes. Well, if you're dehydrated, that's contributing to that. You're going to see an increase in your core temperature, and then you're going to also see an increase in your risk of injury. Okay. So now that you know why fluids are so crucial and why staying hydrated is so important, now we've got to think about, okay, well, what does that recommendation actually look like? What does actually staying hydrated mean, right? And so the recommendation for water intake in order to stay hydrated is to consume half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water each day. Right. So for me, for example, I weigh about 180, 190 pounds. So that means that I need to be taking in somewhere between like 90, 95 fluid ounces of water every single day. And so if you think about, what does that look like? Well, this water bottle here, this is 16.9 fluid ounces, right? So for me, at an absolute bare minimum, I need to be taking in about 5 to 6 of these per day. Okay. So if we think about the real world application of this and how do we, how does this transpire? How do we get ourselves to actually do this, not just for a day or for a week, but consistently month in and month out? And again, I'm not perfect by any means, right? But I will say that I'm pretty consistent with being able to stay hydrated and prioritize hydration, because I see the value in it. I know the why behind it, right? It's not just something I've been told, but I've really studied and researched and understand how important it actually is. And so I prioritize it just as much as sleep and nutrition and training and stress management and personal development and all these other lifestyle habits that are extremely important there. So my hack, the thing that I like the best, the thing that I think works the best, at least for me, is I literally will get 5 of these every single morning when I start my day, and I will set them right here on my desk, right? And what that does is it allows these water bottles to sit here and stare at me all day long until I drink every single one of them, right? Awareness, precedes change. If I don't grab these water bottles, if I don't grab 5 of them and put them right there at my desk, the likelihood of me hitting my hydration goal goes down significantly, right? Because it's just out of sight, out of mind, right? I'm not sitting here constantly going into the kitchen and grabbing another water bottle and grabbing another water bottle. And as much as I say that that's easy, and as much as I say that I can do that, the reality of it is I just wasn't doing it, right? And so the hack, if you will, was me just literally grabbing 5 water bottles, setting them on my desk, and making sure that by the end of my workday, they were all gone, right? And so you've seen those big water bottles you can order on Amazon that, they're like, you're almost there, right? You can buy a big one of those, fill that whole thing up. Old school way is, grab the gallon jugs there of water and drink that by the end of the day. You can go about this however you want. But the reality of it is in order to actually start getting consistently hydrated, you've got to make sure that you're actually tracking the data, right? And so this could be as simple as get a calendar, a physical calendar, put it on your wall, put an X every single day that you don't hit your hydration goal, and put a circle every day that you do, right? And at the end of that 30-day calendar, you can have a 10,000 foot view of how consistent you've actually hit your hydration goal versus not. With the clients that I work with one-on-one, one of the habits that are in that habit tracker that we use is hydration. And so they're literally tracking their water goal. They're tracking their hydration status every single day. And at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year, they're able to see, okay, how consistent am I actually being with this habit, right? Because we have a tendency to do this. We have a tendency to think in our head that we're being a lot more consistent than we actually are. And so if you've never actually tracked your hydration status before, if you've never actually tracked your water intake before, not just for a day, not just for a week, but actually for months on end, right? Then you just truly don't understand. You don't have the awareness to know if you're actually being consistent with staying hydrated or not. All right. And I cannot tell you how many clients that I've worked with who have lived their whole life, or at least the last few years of their life, being chronically dehydrated, right? And this contributes to everything, to your skin and your digestion and your metabolism and your, like, literally there are so many aspects of your health that can be improved by just simply staying hydrated. And so when they actually go from this state of being chronically dehydrated to being, optimally hydrated on a day-to-day basis, well, now all of a sudden they start to reap all of these benefits. And in short, they start to feel better, they start to look better, they start to perform better. Okay. Now, this is what I'd say is you got to meet yourself where you are, right? I've also heard this from a lot of people is, I was chronically dehydrated. I saw that I was supposed to drink half of my body weight in fluid ounces of water every day. I started doing that. And now all of a sudden I'm going to the bathroom 15, 20, 25 times a day, right? Or I'm up all night, having to use the restroom there. So you got to realize, like anything else, too much of anything too fast can be a bad thing. Okay. So you've got to really meet yourself where you are. Right? If you're only drinking one of these a day, then maybe your goal should not be to go from 16.9 fluid ounces to 100 fluid ounces overnight. Maybe your goal should be to go from 1 water bottle to 2 water bottles, right? And so you're going from, 16, let's just call it 15 fluid ounces to 30 fluid ounces, right? And if you can do that for a week or 2 or a month, then we'll bump it up another 15. And you slowly but surely over the course of the next few weeks, over the course of the next few months, start to get to a place where you're actually consistently staying hydrated. If you look at the data, you look at the research, right? What they say is that it takes 66 days to form a habit. I would argue that for most people, it takes longer than that. But let's just go off the 66 days. And so that would mean that once you actually get hydrated, right, and you meet that goal, that daily goal of half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water, that's when it starts. And so now I need 66 days in a row of consistently hitting half of my body weight in fluid ounces of water in order for that to even give me a chance to think that I'm going to be able to, actually form this into a habit and build this into my lifestyle and keep it there forever. Okay. So big takeaways here are is that staying hydrated really, really, really does matter. It makes a huge impact on your health, way more than what most of us give it credit. And you absolutely can stay hydrated, but the reality of it is that you've got to actually track this data. just like any other habit that you want to incorporate into your life, you have to track it. What doesn't get tracked typically does not get changed. And so if you want to build a new habit into your lifestyle, if you want to prioritize staying hydrated on a daily basis, I would use a calendar or a habit tracker or something, right, to hold you accountable and to give you the awareness so that you can actually start to make these changes in your life, and you can start getting more consistent with these habits, and you can start to reap the benefits and the rewards of what it means to actually be hydrated on a consistent basis. Right? I promise you, this is one of the most consistent, this is one of the most important habits that you could ever incorporate into your life. No different than some of those other big rock habits like sleep, right? And training, working out, exercising, nutrition, all of these things here, these big rock habits that really move the needle the most. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions on this. I know it seems very simple, but it's one of those things where it's a lot easier said than done, right? And so I would just encourage you to start tracking, start building of awareness, start assessing the data, meet yourself where you are, and slowly start to work towards that goal of drinking half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water each day. Once you get to that, by the way, especially in these summer months, then electrolytes start to come into the equation, and those start to become a very important topic of conversation as well. Save that for another day, because the first thing so many of y'all are going to do is, oh, what electrolyte powder should I use? What electrolyte supplement should I use? Don't worry about the electrolyte supplement until you actually start getting hydrated on a consistent basis through water alone. Once you do that and you've done that for 66 days or more, awesome. Then come talk to me about electrolytes and how we can start to incorporate those to really, really optimize your hydration and take it to the next level. Cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Drop them here below. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, shoot me a text message. All that info is out here everywhere. For any of you that have done this before, you know that I'm more than willing to answer any questions you may have. You don't have to be a client of mine. You don't have to pay me. I'm here to help, truly here to serve. This is my mission in life, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, humbled every single day to be able to do what I do. And yeah, until next time, thanks, guys.